tasks for this company. 1. Open the file j22evidence.rtf. Make sure that your name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page of the document. So here's the evidence document. We've already enabled editing. We're going to add that information that they've asked us to put in the header just by adding a 3-part header. I'm going to put the name, center number, candidate number, close the header view, and then we're going to now save this document with a new file name, adding our candidate number to the end of the document name. So we're going to rename this just by adding the 4 digits of your candidate number. I'm going to save. Okay, so we're just going to highlight this to show that we're done with that part of the exam. So we're now going to edit a report, j22report.rtf, enable the editing, just reduce the size so we can see it a little bit better. We're going to save this document again with a new file format, and that's your key to save that RTF as a Word document. Very important. Okay, it doesn't matter the name of the file, so you just choose the name of your choice. Now we're going to set the page size to A4. And we're going to set the orientation to landscape. And we're going to place screenshots of this evidence in our evidence document. So show where you've changed it to A4, and you're going to screenshot the entire screen and do not crop it down. Okay, do the same thing for the orientation. Again, the entire screenshot should be placed in the evidence document with no cropping. Okay, so we're going to highlight that. Now we're going to set the margins. Margins should be set to 2 centimeters for the top and bottom, and 1.5 centimeters for the left and right margins. And we're going to also put this evidence in our evidence document by taking a screenshot, pasting it into the evidence document, again with no cropping. Now we're going to put a header with today's date left aligned. And then we're going to put our center number and candidate number right aligned. Now, in this case, you're only using the right and the left. The center is not needed, so we're just going to delete it. Now, in the footer, we're going to put the automated file name and path. Go to Insert, add a footer. Then we're going to go to Quick Parts, Field, look for file name in the list, and then we're going to check that checkbox that says Add Path to File Name. And then we're going to put the automated page number. So highlight the type text, going to go to page number, choose the one that's on the right. Make sure that everything matches the page margins. And we're going to close the header and footer view. Now we're going to add the title, Game Consoles 2013, at the head of the document. We want this title to be center aligned. We want it to be 28 points, font size. And we want it to be bold. Okay, highlight that. And now we're going to add a subtitle, Draft Report by. Just enter to add a new line, Draft Report by your name. And we're going to make the subtitle right aligned. It's going to be 16 points high. And then it's going to also be italics. And we're going to set the heading and the subtitle to the same sans serif font. And remember, sans serif, you should be using Arial just to make it easier for yourself. Now we're going to format the text after the subtitle as 3 columns. Now you can either highlight all of the text afterwards, or you can choose this option that says apply to the document after, and then choose the 3-column option. Again, we're going to Control A to select all, and we're going to justify this text by choosing the justify alignment. We're going to set all of the text to 12 points high while it's highlighted, and then we're going to also change it to a serif font, which will be Times New Roman. Okay, and then we're going to add single line spacing for the entire document. Now we're going to identify the 8 subheadings, and we're going to make sure that they're center aligned, italics, and underlined. Underlined, italics. And we're going to make sure that they're all a sans serif font, Arial, and 14 points high. Now that you've done that, you use the Format Painter to select and copy the format. You select Format Painter for each heading. Every time before you select the heading, you select Format Painter, and then you select the heading. See here, this wasn't selected, so we're going to go back, select it, Format Painter, and then highlight the next heading, and it will automatically take the heading of the previous heading. Sorry, the formatting of the previous heading. Okay, we're just going to scroll back, make sure that we got all of them. Good, we can highlight that. We're going to change the numbered list, which starts with 1, and we just want those to be bullets instead. So we just select them and change the settings to bullets. And we're going to format the list to be left aligned in the margin. All right, so we want to bring that to line up perfectly with the column itself. Okay, there should be no space left. All right. So now we're going to find this paragraph, and we're going to set it to have an outside border only. So select the paragraph, then select borders, outside border only. And we're going to make sure that the border is at least 3 points wide. And now we're going to set the shading to 15% gray shading. Okay, make sure it's selected. Go to shading, 15% gray. Okay, so it's obvious that it's shaded. Okay, we're going to highlight that because we're done. And now we're going to edit the table to make sure it looks like the example given. So there's the table. I'm going to insert a column to the left, and we're going to place the information given in the exam. Just going to type it in. Be careful to ensure that the information that you're typing is accurate. All right, now we are going to add the heading, rating categories to the top cells, which will be merged. So you merge the cells of the entire top row just by right-clicking and selecting merge cells. Okay, we're going to center align that. Okay, we're just going to highlight this. Make sure that the text in the table matches the text of the body. So the body is Times New Roman and 12 points, and we're going to make sure that the text in the table is the exact same thing. Okay, now we want to remove the inside borders of the table. Okay, we just want to make sure first that the top row is bold and italics, and the second row is center aligned and bold. Okay, now we're going to make sure that the table fits within the column, and then there's no text wrapping. That means within the cells, there should not be any double lines in the cell itself. All of the cells should be single lines. And now we want to set it so only the outside borders show. Okay, so when we go into the borders, we remove all the borders first, and then we go and we select outside borders only. All right. Yeah. So take all of the other borders away. Okay, so highlight. Now we're going to move the paragraph which starts with the development of new consoles, and we're going to put it under the subheading developments. So we're going to do a search, find the paragraph that we're looking for. We're going to cut the paragraph, look for the heading developments, and we're just going to paste it under developments. Okay, make sure there's no extra spaces there. Now we're going to replace the text insert picture here with the image. All right. So there's the insert picture there. We're going to remove those words, make sure they're no longer visible in the document, and then we're going to select our picture, J225 playing, and we're going to insert the picture. Okay, so we're going to crop the image to remove the stars from the left-hand side. So you just select the image, select crop, use your cropping handles to remove the stars. And then we're going to resize the image so it's 4 centimeters wide. So just in the picture properties under size, you're going to set it to 4 cm. And now we're going to align the image with the top of the paragraph, starting with gaming technology. All right, so we're at that paragraph already, but it's going to be on the right side, okay? Right margin. And we're going to make sure that the text wraps around, so we're going to choose the wrap text option tight. Highlight the text. All right, so we're going to spell check the document by running the spell check. There's always 1 or 2 words that are intentionally misspelled in the document to make sure so that the markers can verify that you've done the spell checking. So make sure you do that. Okay, and then we're going to make sure that there are no widows and orphans in our document, and there's a widow. Video games was away from the paragraph that it is attached to, so you just enter it down to make sure that the heading of the paragraph and the paragraph are together. There are no widows or orphans left. And we're going to make sure that there are no blank pages. Check that there is a single 12-point space after each paragraph. And you do that by just going to paragraph spacing after and making sure that it's set to 12 points. And you can do that on the paragraph command group on the toolbar. And you're going to make sure that the formatting is consistent with the document. All of that done, we are ready to print our document, and that is the end of Word.